Hello there. Well, I want to tell you something that happened during the war in my country. You know, this story in the Bible that talk about the children of Israel. You remember when God was leading the children of Israel out of when God was leading the children of Israel out of Egypt. If you read scripture, it tells you that um, there were times that God fed the children of Israel. God fed the children of Israel with manna. He, like, as the scripture tells us that God fed the children of Israel with manna. It's like the manna comes, and in the morning they'll go and pick it up, and God instructed them that they should only take enough for the day. So they will pick up the manna, pick up what they needed for that day, and by nighttime everything will go, and then new ones will come in the morning. And I believe this story very much because I've seen something like this happen during the war in my country. I'm from Liberia, and everyone know about the civil war, the war that was in my country. The war lasted for so long in my country, and when, like everywhere else, when there is war, there is no food, there is no water, everything is scarce, there is no light. So we experienced all of that during the war in my country. And I remember there was a time that hunger was so bad. There was no food, there was nothing, and in the midst of that, something miraculous happened. God did something great in the midst of that. And what God did is this. Where we live in Liberia was not too far away from the beach. We have a large beach, at where we live. So what we used to do is that we heard that at the beach, nuts was appearing on the sand. Like the sea will bring all these nuts, and we'll go, and people were picking it up and eating it. So we decided to go, and I saw this for myself. It's like when the wave comes and goes, it leaves a lot of nuts on the beach. And these nuts, they look like bread nut. I don't know if people know what bread nuts is, but it's like a big round hard nut. So the nuts were about the size of this that would come, something like about, I don't know, like this size. Okay, the nuts was like a size of, I need to describe this thing. Give me 1 second. So the nuts, it was like the size of a chestnut. Okay, so something, I think this is a little bit big, but the nuts that were coming on the beach, it was like a chestnut, something like that size. And so the sea water will come, and then the waves will come, and then when the waves go back in the sea, it will leave all these nuts on the beach. You understand? It will leave all these nuts, and then we'll go and pick it up. Imagine during a time in a country where there is war, there is no food, and the sea water is bringing food. That can only be God. I'm telling you, that can only be God. And we'll go, my sister, myself, we'll all go on the beach and then start to look among the sand, and we'll pick up these nuts. The shelves was kind of brown. It was kind of like a brown shelf. And when you open this shelf, in the shelf, it was like white, mealy, almost like when you boil peanuts, or just like chestnuts, chestnuts. So it's kind of mealy and white, and we'll take this home. Sometimes we'll pick up like a half bag, take it home, and when you boil it, it was so nice. When you boil it, you could pound it like fufu, make it out of fufu, or you could just boil it and eat it like that, or you could eat it with red oil, any way you feel like it. But just how you see chestnut is, that's how it was. But the sea was bringing these things. And whenever I think about this, I always just think, where did it come from? Under the sea? Is there like trees under the sea that was bearing these nuts? How come at a time that in a country where there was no food, how could the sea bring this? And I don't know if anyone else have seen this, but this is something that actually happened This is something that actually happened in the country I was. This is something that I actually saw in the area where I live. We're not far from the beach, and the sea was actually bringing food for us during the war. The waters, whenever the wave come and go, the nuts will appear, and that sustained us for a while. We're able every time to go and pick up these nuts. And so when I think about it, I think about this story of the children of Asia and how God provided. So I'm saying this to say that I believe God is a provider. I believe God knows how to work, and He knows how to reach His children. I'm a strong believer that no matter where you are, no matter the distance you are, if you believe in God and you are praying to God during the time of trouble, during the time of need, I'm a strong believer that God will always provide for His children. I don't believe in that thing that sometimes someone will tell you, oh, I don't have food. I'm so hungry. There is nothing. I don't know. I can't bring myself to believe that, because back in Africa, even though we didn't have anything, there were times we didn't have anything. Nothing. We didn't have money, nothing. But there was always something that God would provide for us to eat. We'll always be able to find something somewhere. We'll go, like go in the garden or go around, like look around, and we'll always find something somewhere. So I'm a strong believer that God is a provider. So I don't know. I just wanted to put this out there and share it with somebody. Maybe this might bless someone. I want you to know that God is a provider. Thank you so much.